Hey guys, what is up? Ioki here bringing you some more coaching content. Today we are looking at a Gold 4 Senna player by the name of Voq, V-O-Q on EUS. So Voq has reached out and ordered some coaching, and he wants to know how to take his Senna gameplay from a Gold 4 level to a Plat 4 level. So I took a look at your build and runes, and it looks like you're doing everything, you know, pretty standard. I noticed that you're building Infinity Edge. I definitely would not be building that item, especially in this game. We'll get to it a little bit later as to why not, but Infinity Edge was definitely not the play. You want to be going for a pretty standard lethality build when you play Senna, so Umbral Glaive and Eclipse are really, really good. So in my coaching sessions, I always talk about the good things and bad things that you're doing. So what I assume you're doing is walking up here, warding this middle bush, backing, getting a red trinket. Okay, right off the bat, you can tell this person watches Ioki. Love to see it. So let's talk a little bit about matchups. We got Kai'Sa and Leona versus Senna Caitlyn. Now, other than the fact that you guys are squishy and you're vulnerable to Leona, this is actually a really, really strong matchup for you. You're both incredibly high range. They are both incredibly low range. Kai'Sa's a low range ADC. Leona's obviously a melee character. Runes looked good. I would definitely recommend swapping out your secondary page. Right now, I think you're running Conditioning and Revitalize. Those are not bad runes at all. I don't want you to think that like you're a total idiot for running those runes. They're actually quite good, especially on Senna. But I really am liking the Biscuits and Approach Velocity on Senna recently. But good to see that you're running the Airy page, which is the Senna page that I recommend when you run a double marksman bot lane. You know, if you have something else like to tank for you, if you're running like Starving Senna, you got like a Galio ADC or a Nasus ADC or whatever else they throw in there these days. Fleet Footwork's a little bit better, but I like the Airy page because this brings a lot more utility from the sorcery tree, since you're not necessarily supposed to be like the main carry, right? Caitlyn is. All right, so let's see what we do level 1. Level 1, I gotta say, unless you get hard engaged on by like a Blitzcrank or something, Senna's level 1 is like, you are literally like the strongest champion in the entire game. So I'm gonna be really, really nitpicky with your level 1. Because you need to be, if you're gonna be playing Senna a lot, you need to be hardcore abusing your level 1. Okay, so this was good. You baited her out. You knew she's in there, so it's not like you're face checking it. You baited the Leona out, and you know, as long as if you do not like step up to her and give her a kiss on the cheek, you win this, right? You can just continue keeping this spacing, this correct spacing, unless she's one of those freak Leonas that started E, but that's not even that good. As long as you don't get queued, you absolutely win this. So let's see what you do. You keep the spacing. Nice. Get in an auto queue. Very, very nice. Very nice. Okay, so let's talk about your trade with Kai'Sa. You definitely want to be getting that second auto in. Obviously, your Q is down because you used it on Leona. Like, this is really good. You kept really correct spacing. This was quite bad. One, you walk up with no wave, so you're going to be getting hit by her isolated Q. And then two, you've got the passive on her, but you don't collect it. You don't get that last auto in. So throughout this session, I'm going to be really, really harping in on like you knowing the limitations of your character and their character, because that is like super, super important when it comes to playing Senna at a high level. So 100%, she's already gotten the Q off you. So ideally, you don't give her that isolated Q, right? We just never challenge that Kai'Sa until we're in a minion wave, or at like, you know, we're in a spot where we can take like 2v1 trades. But now that, you know, accidents happen, you did take the trade, but you didn't get the second auto. She's already done all of her damage. We know that. You know, she queued and autoed us. That's all she's got, right? You haven't done all your damage. You have not completed your half of the trade. So definitely would have snuck in one more auto there. All right, and then obviously see, that was good. That was good. Very, very nice. But obviously at level 2, they have a pretty massive advantage. They got the Leona EQ, and Senna does not have a level 2 spike. But it's fine because they're pushing us into this wave. Small nitpick. You should be ready to catch waves like this. Senna's souls are kind of mean, right? They jump out of the minions, and then they jump towards the enemy. So you need to be catching it like when it's right here. Try to get into the habit of like basically just hovering your mouse over every single minion that Caitlyn is killing. Not to kill it yourself. You're not here to KS minions or anything, but hover your mouse and then you can attack, move, or just right click the soul as it pops out before it goes too far away from you, right? Man, this camera is being obnoxious. Okay, so level 2. All right, right around now, 245, this is when you need to start thinking about ganks. You need to start looking at the map. You need to start looking at where your jungler's at. Is your jungler pathing for you? No, he's not. He's mid and he's going top. Okay, so obviously you have access to the, your jungler's location. Right now, you need to train yourself every single day or every single game at 245. Start thinking about where is their jungler. What buff did their jungler start? Did their bot lane leash? These all need to be things that are running through your mind. Because in this 245 to like 330, usually like 320 window is when the first gank is going to happen. That's just how the timing works out for like almost every single jungler. So right around 245 in your next game, Voke, I want you to be thinking, where's their jungler? And then, you can take that thought and like extrapolate on it and, get even more advanced thinking of the game. Like going on like, okay, so we're going to get ganked, but my jungler is ganking bot side. Do we win 3v3? Things like that. But right now, it's just, we're in gold 4. Let's take things one step at a time. Just think, where is their jungler? Could their jungler be pathing bot right now? Because unless you're playing like a cheese gank champion like Nunu or Shaco or something, most junglers ganks are going to be happening in the next like 20 seconds. Almost literally right on the dot. 319. What did I say? 320 is when the first gank happens. Okay, so that was a Shin Flash taunt. Let's see how you play this. I mean, it's impossible for you to ward this since you've already swapped out your trinket. Caitlyn should probably have it warded, but it's okay. We're not here to coach Caitlyn. Let's just see how we react to the gank. We get taunted. Oh, that wasn't Shin's flash. That was Caitlyn's flash. Okay. Looks like we survived the gank, though. Pretty nice. Get some souls on the way out. Yep. Because they've already used up all their juice, right? Now, if we wait a few more seconds, Leona's cooldowns are going to be up. But I really, really like how hard you punished. Shin there. Okay, so it looks like Leona went in. This should be winning for you. Shin is already taunted away, and their jungler, or their ADC, is stuck under a wave. So this should just be like a free kill, right? Yeah, it's a free kill. Very nice. All right, so what we want to do now is get this wave in and reset. You have done so much for your team right now. Think about everything that you've contributed to your team. I know it's frustrating to get ganked. I know it's frustrating to, like, seemingly get jungle gapped because their jungler is in your lane and you're not. But the fact that you just survived the gank, you are absorbing so much pressure. What that does is it allows your top laner to play more aggressive. What that does, it allows your jungler to go take their top side. Jungler do whatever, play for scuttles. Reset knowing that, like, their jungler's behind on tempo. It literally gives so much information to your team. All you have to do is not die now. So the fact that, you got a kill on their gank is just a slap in the face to them. But just absorbing the gank, you need to start thinking about that thing, not as like something that's frustrating or something that you don't want to happen, but think of it as like, as long as the jungler's ganking you, they can't be ganking anyone else, right? Okay, so we got the wave to touch the turret. We absolutely need to be resetting right here. You guys are not going to get this play. It's too early into the game. It's too difficult to take them, and you don't have enough minions. Also, Shin could be looking for a regank. Also, Leona, death timers are really, really short. So Leona's like probably somewhere in like right here, right? Okay, she's a little further back than I thought, actually. But still, definitely don't play for plates here. Plates are like a giant noob trap. Absolute giant noob trap. For sure be taking this back. This is a very, very greedy last wave to take. Especially because you guys got a kill on your ADC. She should have a pretty good buy. So I know this probably wasn't... This isn't necessarily like your choice to save for this wave. It's usually the ADCs, right? But you could be pinging to him. Yeah, see, like, look at this. Like, look at this. If you guys... you guys died... I'm guessing you're both going to die, or at least one of you guys is going to die. You guys died to put this much damage on the turret. Was this worth it? Instead of going back, spending the gold that you guys earned by getting a kill on their gank, you could be so freaking far ahead right now. But instead, we decided to not spend our gold and do 295 damage to the turret. All right, so let's see how this plays out. We got the W on Shin. I would absolutely be Wing onto Kai'Sa. Okay, so ideally you W the Kai'Sa here so she can't follow up. This Shin is just going to taunt out of your W because your W is not instant CC, right? It's not like a Morgana binding. He can just taunt before the W snaps to him, right? So realistically, try to W this Leona so she can't follow up. Ideally, I think you W the Kai'Sa, but that's kind of hard because she's got a speed steroid. But yeah, definitely don't W the jungle because it's kind of like that first trade we talked about back at level 1. Remember? Where Kai'Sa had literally already used up everything. This Shin, you can't stop him. You can't. He's going to get the taunt off. He's going to land everything. Your W's not going to stop him at all, right? But yeah, realistically, you died greeting for a plate. Does Caitlyn die too? Looks like she's fine actually. All right, then there's solo queue Fiesta stuff. You guys might get like a return kill. Okay, so you get a return kill. Very nice. I would be pathing mid here. Nobody's catching this wave. They don't need you here. This fight should all be over with. The most you're going to get by pathing down here is to be here for the dragon, which you could do if you had pathed straight to mid anyways. So XP, especially solo XP, is like, bro, it's like the golden nectar. You need to think of it as like the most precious resource that can be distributed amongst your team. Your mid laner is doing stuff bot, correcting your mistake, by the way. But you should for sure be getting this XP for sure. Like you're not going to be able to do anything down here. Yeah, see, it would have been the exact same result without you, but your team just missed an entire wave full of XP. Also, you know, it may not apply directly to this game, but I think that Caitlyn's going to be like a massive portion of your AD damage. I would probably be giving her a solo plate. Like if it's a scenario like this, where it's like she can obviously finish that first plate and probably the second plate by herself, just give her the solo plate. It's like 320 extra gold for her. It's 160 extra gold actually. But yeah. Give solo plates when you can. All right, we are once again, we got everything that we're going to come with. We got everything that we wanted. I think you guys, you're really struggling with greeting for this last wave. As long as the minion wave has touched the enemy turret, you have done your job. You don't actually have to take this wave, right? Because when you think about it, like resetting on a cannon is actually like the best thing that you can possibly do because it takes your minions so long to kill this cannon. That's when you actually want to be resetting. You don't want to be taking the cannon and then making the exact same mistake that you guys made earlier, where now you guys might get collapsed on because you haven't reset. You haven't spent all this crazy amount of gold that you just got. Look, Caitlyn's still sitting on the Doran's blade. I know you're not playing as Caitlyn, but you can be telling her to reset. You can be pinging her. You can be typing to her. So, okay, so we do get our reset off. It's super, super late. Like, imagine, if you had backed without taking that last wave, you would have already been at this turret and catching this wave. So once again, you guys are missing out on that XP. And against champions like Kai'Sa and Leona, who have these massive power spikes at certain XP points, like level 6, you know, putting yourself a wave behind here and there, you know, it's going to add up. All right. So we got some shenanigans going on. We got 4 people bot side. Very nice W. Pulls out the Kai'Sa flash. Hey, you don't need to be afraid here, by the way. They're running. They're not even shooting back. Path forward, path forward, path forward. You're like acting all antsy here as if they're going to like turn on you and kill you. Does it look like she's trying to fight you? It doesn't look like either one of them are trying to fight you. So keep pumping autos into you. There you go. Keep pathing forward. Keep pathing forward. Now your job is to get this wave under the turret so that you guys can dive. So touch the wave. Touch the wave. You're not doing your job here. Your job was 100% to get the wave under the turret. But okay, we're rotating over here. We miss our W. Pump a heal into him. That's all we can do. Very nice. Get into the mindset of before you do anything, before you make a play, make sure your waves are pushed in. Like, that is literally like the easiest advice I can give to lower elo players. Like, before you go to a dragon, there's a checklist of things you need to do, right? You need to like get vision control, maybe get some vision in their jungle, you know, go and spin your gold. Before you do any of that, just push the wave. It makes your game 10 times easier. Before you rotate to this shenanigan fight over here, just push the wave. Because one, you're never going to out-rotate them, right? You're never going to... This distance from here to here is so much shorter. It's always going to be shorter than you going here. So that's on them for taking a fight in an inaccessible place. And it's not like you can just cut through the grass, right? You can't jump over the wall. You're playing Senna. You can't walk through their turret. You're playing Senna. So just push the wave in before anything else. Because what that does is, even if they do win this fight, at least they're missing minions, right? At least they're missing resources. All right, I missed it. What happened here? Nice little Q through the turret. Good aggression from Caitlyn. Very nice. All right, good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. All right, we reset, right? We reset, right? We're going to reset, like right now, right? Go back, go back, go back. Guys, the second you get the plate, this is a scenario where you should stay for this plate. But the second you get it, and you don't even need to take it. There's a small delay window where if you just left it like this, how much it has 92 HP. Your minions are going to do that. Your minions are going to do that much. Just go. It's all about faster back timings, faster tempo, being on the map. Sometimes, most of the time, League of Legends is just a matter of who gets to the correct place faster. But once again, we're greeting for that last plate. And now, you know, yeah, Leona's lost a little bit of health, but our tempo's all off. We didn't get to go back. I think back timings is one of the most important parts of playing support in solo queue. It's a little different because you're playing Senna, so it's not like, you know, it's not like you can back there and then walk mid or walk top. You're probably not going to be roaming. Probably going to be walking straight back to bot lane or whatever's going on the map, but you got to be sneaking in way more backs, man. You're not spinning your gold nearly enough. Nice Q, by the way. I don't know if you did this on purpose, but if you Q the dragon right before it dies, you pick up both souls that it drops. See? And then that can save you, you know, 2 or 3 seconds of picking them up by hand. Good stuff. It's all about timing. All about tempo. Speed. Alright. So, this isn't like a wrong ult. This isn't like a terrible ult or anything. It actually comes quite close to killing. But this is a perfect example of why I hate using global ults on Senna. I think that is another just straight up noob trap. You should really just be saving that ult for like a 5v5 at the dragon. Because one, it's hard to land. If Fizz didn't Q through it right here, you would have missed the ulti. Two, it just does so little damage. And the shield is actually just so small. So like, unless it like, you're just watching like a game-defining team fight or skirmish coming out right here, I would genuinely just save your ultimate for like pure damage on Kai'Sa in lane. So again, that's not a bad ult. I just wanted to share my thoughts on Senna ult. I wouldn't have made that ult. All right, back to bot. What we doing now? Okay, so our jungler is topside. We're not looking for dragon. I think we just saw... Did we just see Shin on Scuttle? We did. So we know Shin's down here. Steps over a ward. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Dude, bro, do you see how hard you're chunking her? Like, you seem so much more confident in, like, taking these trades now that you got a little bit of AD behind you. Like, that auto Q just devastates her health bar. And yeah, you're out of juice by then, so you got to back up. You don't win extended trades, but bro, anytime you can sneak in an auto Q and not get bursted down 100-0, that's what you want to be doing. Playing Senna is all about finding those little, 1 to 2 second windows where you can go zap, zap, back up, zap, zap, back up. She's not like a Jinx where she just wants to constantly path forward. It's all about getting in, doing your damage, backing out, because you got those long windows, right? You got those long delays, got long charge up time on your auto attacks. You don't typically win extended trades against champions like Kai'Sa as Senna, but when she's walking up to take a cannon, zap zap, get your 2-hit passive, run away. If she gets her Q off on you, zap zap, you probably still won the trade. All right, we are... Okay, so I'm starting to recognize the assessment pattern. We are 100% overgreeding for turrets. Like, you guys are playing, like, two long-range champions, so that you think that you can just, like, get away with, like, sieging this turret nonstop. But, like, you take the tier 1 turret, and then you get out of bot lane. So, the actual correct macro play, in my opinion, would be to send Malphite bot, and you and Caitlyn go top, because you can still get these plates. You guys have 2.5 minutes left to take plates. But what you're not going to be able to do is take this. So you should, at worst, be going mid. I like going top if Dragon's not up. Sitting 2 people up there, you can bully this volley bear. You guys are relatively strong, so it's not like he's going to one-shot you. Yeah, send your marksman up top. Get the rest of these plates. Let Malphite, sit in this long, empty lane, right? As an immobile squishy marksman bot lane, yeah, like, we're too far up. We're too far up. You can just never get away with this. And it doesn't really matter whether you guys live or die here, because the actual incorrect play was pushing all the way to tier 2. It's just, okay, so you do die. I'm actually glad you died there. You got punished for it. But even if you, like, happen to miraculously 2v4 there, it's still an incorrect macro play. You take your turret, and then you go top. At most, you push the wave and then run away. Like, you can't be this close to them. You can't be that far into their territory without taking this. Because one thing that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to, like, taking towers is it opens up the map, right? This is your territory now, whereas it used to be theirs. But this is still theirs. This is still theirs, and the land between them is still theirs, right? But yeah, go open up that tower, man. Go take a little bit of their territory top. Don't keep walking bot. You have a double marksman. Super, super easy to take plates. And there's no real reason, until this next dragon is up, there's no real reason for you to be here, right? Anyone could be catching this XP. Anyone. So... I don't encourage people to, like, type to their solo queue teammates. In fact, I encourage people to completely mute chat. But you can ping, we should go top. Also, be getting way deeper vision than this, bro. This is a bad word. We know where 3 of them are right now. Worst case scenario, it's like Kai'Sa in this bush sitting here for some reason. You can get a ward here. Maybe even a ward here. This is a pretty worthless ward, though. That's the advantage of taking this turret, is that if she's sitting here, she's not really that safe anymore, right? So you can afford to get further into their territory, get deeper wards. A rule of thumb, when you're winning a game, you should be warding in their jungle. Ward their jungle. Take away the safety net of their jungler. Like, make it impossible for him to gank because you see him coming from a mile away, right? Make him think, am I even safe to be doing these camps right now? Like, they may have vision of me. And also, a nice thing about taking a turret is that your minions will now extend up here, which means that you will have greater ideas of, like, where people are in the map. Whereas before, before you take the turret, before your minions can go over here, you're never going to know who's here. There's just no way to have wards there, right? But if you're winning in a game, your minions will... kind of naturally just be winning. and naturally be pushing. Like when you're winning the game, your minions actually like level up as the game progresses, which means that if it's like a perfectly neutral wave, your minions will actually win it, which will push into them, which is good for you and good for them. So let me explain this. I know we've gotten a little bit of off topic, but I want to explain this concept because I think that you're really I think that it's influencing your game a lot. You're winning the game. You have a higher average champion level, right? Which means that your minions have an higher average champion level. So one, they're going to have a higher base stats on the minions, which means they're going to naturally push because they're going to defeat their, the opponent's minions. And two, there's no tower tanking these. So we're going to be naturally pushing this way, and there's no tower to kill them. So the waves are just going to keep going and going and going and going, which means that you can get stuff done on the rest of the map because you don't need to be here anymore, right? So that's why you send your top laner to this wave. That's why you never go that deep into their territory. We got a little off topic there, but I kept jumping from topic to topic, and I think it's all important stuff for you to know. All right, so we're rotating to something Trundle's doing. All right, so we know exactly when Shin's coming out here, so we shouldn't ever be getting hit by this taunt. That's really unlucky that W didn't hit, though. So I'd get like one more auto in and then back up. Don't path forward into that. Wait until he uses his taunt. You've got the Gragas coming on the backside. No need to eat the taunt here. You're going to lose, half your health bar for no real reason. A lot more than half, actually. So again, it's a small micro managing thing, but no need to get hit by that taunt. Let your big beefy boys. Remember, Senna is all about getting in and getting out. Knowing the limits of your champion, which are very, very low. Your champion is made of paper. And knowing the enemy team's champions, too. Limits. Alright, so let's see what we ulted here. So again, we're getting baited by our ultimate. Use our ultimate. Honestly, well, it's not up for this fight. So you basically use it off of cooldown. This isn't... I mean, these ultimates aren't terrible. It's just like it doesn't feel like we're getting a lot of value out of them. So we're like tagging Kai'Sa. I'm guessing you're going for the kill on Fizz. That's the bait part. That's the big bait. Wait until you could like use it in like nice congested 5v5 team fights. Like the next team fight will probably be over Rift Herald, right? It'll probably be like a three or four man 3v3 or 3v3 or 4v4 skirmish, right? Just wait until you can just like affect as many champions as possible with it. I know it's tempting to go for those like long range kills, but like you couldn't even see that guy. So minimize risk. Minimize risk with your ultimate. Make sure it's an actual useful ultimate. This is just overstaying, but I've talked enough about that, so you already know it by now. Don't go for the risky plays. It's the same way, you know how whenever I play Ashe support, I'm like, man, I hate it when people just waste their Ashe arrow, on the 1 in 10 chance that it might hit someone from across the map. When you could just be going for these like super objectively useful ones that you can't possibly miss. Bring that same mindset with you into your next Senna game. All right, so we're going to Rift Herald. You want to be a little careful about stepping up and being the barrier between the Rift Herald and Fizz. Fizz is an assassin. Let your tanks do that. There you go. Also, Gragas is flying, guys. All right, so we got the Umbral Glaive. Super, super good for clearing out vision. You should have like a pretty solid chokehold on this game now because not only are you winning in turrets, towers, dragons, Rift Heralds, you're up in gold, you're up in levels, experience, everything that you could possibly want. All right, Kai'Sa's overstaying, doing the same thing that you guys did. Nice, nice. Honestly, now that the threat's gone, now that Kai'Sa's dead, I would just be walking away, letting Caitlyn take solo XP, and be hovering around mid, because there seems to be a lot of action in this game around mid. And as a very slow champion, Senna, you need to give yourself a little bit of a head start on getting to the action, right? But it looks like we stay bot, and the action's down here. A nice little 3-man. Oh, now that's a good ultimate. You can't possibly miss it. You're not going for some ambitious, you know, 10 HP kill from across the map. You landed a disgustingly useful, good W. You know you can't miss your ult, so you hit him with the yeehaw. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Those are the exact types of Senna ults that I want to see. All right, once again, we should not be pushing this, guys. We should not be pushing this. We don't even have a wave, and we shouldn't be the ones in the bot lane. We're in this like kind of awkward stage of the game where we are definitely ahead, but we're not ahead to be making plays like this. This is just asking to get fizz ulted. Luckily, fizz ult missed, but if it landed, you're probably dead, right? Okay. I think you survive here. It doesn't really matter. We shouldn't be here. If anything, just let Trundle split and drop the Rift Herald himself. It's not like you guys actually contributed anything to this. You basically just made yourself liability, right? Am I right about that? Like, did you guys actually have to be here for this? Trundle was actually quite smart. He left when the, you know, after you got what you were coming for. All right. Okay, so we got our 2-item power spike. You are basically full build, brother. Good job. As for itemization, I would have gone Merc Treads this game, 100%. They all 5 of them, Merc Treads is good against them. Merc Treads good against Volibear. His damage output in a stun. Shin has a taunt. Fizz is obviously an AP assassin. Kaisa does AP damage. Leona's a walking CC chain. Definitely Merc Treads was the play this game, but you know, Boots of Swiftness aren't bad on Senna. All right, so let me look at your ulti again. Okay, this is a great ult. This is another great ult. So your last 2 ultimates, you need to be waiting for moments like this. You literally can't miss this. You're going to be tagging 3 people with damage and shielding 3 people. Super good ult. You waited until it was like in a congested, unmissable area. And also, I've noticed you've been doing it both ways, back and forth. Auto Q and Q auto. Auto Q is actually a little bit faster if you do a proper like animation canceling. So you can auto Q, walk away, get the 2-hit passive and leave, right? Whereas Q auto, it's like a totally different animation. Like it's the animation where Senna is like pulling the soul out of them, and that's slightly slower. So totally nitpick. I've seen you do it both ways. I'm just not sure if you are aware that auto Q is faster. Okay, I liked it. I like that you dropped the ward here. It should have been your control ward, though. The easiest way to apply pressure to an enemy team is to just drop a control ward on an objective. You don't even need to be there, and the enemy team is constantly pressured and thinking like, oh, we have to go check that. We have to go check that. Are they on Baron? Are they on Baron? Somebody go check Baron. And then, you know, you got more opportunities for picks. So yeah, always control ward. I don't know where your control ward's at right now, or if you even have one out, but that definitely should have been your control ward. Where did you put your... Pause. Where'd you put your control ward? Now, why are you putting a control ward here, bro? Are you afraid of them flanking? This controls nothing. You could be controlling the entire pit right now. And look! They have vision on it! Bro! If you had control worded this, it denies vision. It constantly, every time you guys are in Fog of War, it makes them think, are you on Baron? And they eventually have to come check it, right? But instead you control word this bush. So I think this is just a product of you kind of mindlessly warding without actually like consciously thinking, what am I accomplishing with that ward? I mean, this is just mechanical misplay, right? Just underestimating what they can do. And now we've lost Baron. I mean, I'm gonna be real. You guys do have like a decent sieging comp. But you really should, you don't actually have to be sieging them, right? Like I said, we're at that awkward stage where you guys do have a nice lead. You're definitely winning this game. Well, you were. You were definitely winning this game, but you're not quite strong enough to be like diving tier 3s. So the actual play, and this is all on you. Like this sounds rough, but I want you to get better, and I want you to understand like the ramifications and the ripple effect of what you've done. If you just control worded here and like told your, swept out this, used Umbral to sweep out all this, they have to come face check you. And they were not in a position to face check you. If they face checked you, you would have won, right? The only reason you lost is because you got caught under a turret. If you had literally just control worded that from the get-go, the whole game would be different right now. Whole game. Oh, you're so lucky that didn't land on you. Yeah, you're severely disrespecting him here. By pushing into their Baron, like not even fighting it under your turret, you're basically saying like, dude, we've got like a 20,000 gold lead. There's no way we possibly lose. You are not in that position, especially because your Trundle is gone. You guys need to be hardcore respecting. Like, what if Fizz just Qs through this minion and lands an ult? That's not even dodgeable. Never, ever, ever should you be this close. This is massive disrespect. You're so lucky that that didn't go on you. And I'm pretty sure you guys still get dove here. Okay, Fizz misplayed it. This was all still very, very disrespectful of you guys to do. Okay, looks like they threw their lead. I mean, at this stage of the game, it's just like kind of uncoachable shenanigans. Nice sidestep there, though. But yeah, I think we've gotten through like all the actual coachable aspects of the game. Looks like you guys, they threw their Baron, even though you disrespected them. Maybe they get a few kills here and there. You've opened up their inhibs. You're going to be taking the game here soon, though. I think we've talked mostly, we've pretty much covered everything that's actually coachable in this game. Again, do not be building IE, bro. IE is, yeah, not good here. You actually don't even have, yeah, you're not even, I'm pretty sure you don't even have the crit chance to activate IE. No, you have 70%. Okay. So it is at least active. But again, stick with the lethality builds. I'm a big proponent of RFC and Zonias as good third items. Not a big fan of IE. But yeah, Volk, let me open this up here because I think you did send in some specific questions with your coaching session. You said tunnel vision. I feel like I look at the map sometimes and I definitely need to improve that. However, when a skirmish starts, I almost always tunnel vision on the enemy and completely lose sight of everything else. That's just going to come with practice. That's just going to come with like practice and getting the crap kicked out of you because you didn't peel. There are a lot of times with a multifaceted champion like Senna, sometimes you're pathing forward, but a lot of the times you're just making sure that Caitlyn, especially at this stage of the game, bro, like Caitlyn is your carry, right? So when you're kind of deciding what's more important, getting off an auto queue on Fizz or Leona and leaving our Caitlyn wide open and alone, obviously at different stages of the game, you're going to be needing to learn to peel or to aggress. And all of that is just an extension of learning the limitations of your character versus other characters. It's much easier with champions that are kind of one-track minded, like Leona. Obviously, most of the time she's going to be prioritizing diving over peeling. I would say it's like an 80-20% for her. 80% diving, 20% peeling. And it's much easier on champions like enchanters who solely exist to peel the hypercarry. But with champions like Senna, she's kind of like in that weird twilight zone where it's like sometimes she can aggress, sometimes she needs to be playing backwards, and be thinking about it like this. I saw you step up a lot of times when you absolutely should not have been able to. The most egregious one was when they were thinking about what, like Fizz was walking up and you were standing between your tanks and Fizz. If you start getting into like Platinum, Diamond, Master Tier games, Fizz kills you and gets out, right? Because you're not positioning behind the people that can protect you. So be thinking about it like that. You actually have like a very, very nice beefy front line. You got he's AP Gragas, but he's still a Grog. He's just a big boy. And a full tank Malphite. So it's like, always be positioning behind these guys, right? Because their job is to soak up all the damage. Your job is to not get hit by anything and continue pumping in auto Qs to people. And, the further in the team fight back you are, the bigger ultimate you're going to get. So, reaction time. I play at about 200 ms ping. Wow, 200 ms ping. And I think that heavily affects this, but I feel like I'm always a second too late for any play. 200 ms is pretty rough. I used to play on 120, and I thought that was pretty bad ping. Yeah, that's just going to be one of those things that, like, it's a handicap that you have, and you're going to have to learn to deal with it, man. There's not really anything that I can preach or say to you other than, like, give yourself a slightly bigger safety net. Especially when dealing with champions that, like, at a pin drop's notice, they can one-shot you like Fizz. Just give yourself, understand he's not playing on 200 ms ping. You are, so stand a little bit further back. Prediction. This ties in somehow to the previous point, but I totally suck at skill shots. I don't think you're that bad, actually. I think you're being a little hard on yourself there. I didn't see anything totally awful, especially now that I know that you're on 200 ms ping. Positioning, this is something I truly struggle with. I would hard agree. Positioning and also decision-making, and I think you're missing like kind of a couple of fundamental like macro decisions, like understanding that when you're winning lane so hard, you take the early turret, that there's still plates, go top. Only come back bot for Dragon. Tier 2 turret really is not the most valuable thing in the world. And as a rule of thumb, you probably shouldn't be pushing for tier 2 turrets when mid tier 1 and top tier 1 is up. Be looking to break those tier 1s as a set, collect the whole set. They're like Pokemon cards. Win condition. I hear this many times. How do you actually identify a win condition? It's pretty easy, actually. Quite simple. Your win condition is Caitlyn this game, right? She's going to be like 70% of your AD damage. So as long as you are not making yourself vulnerable, you're not making yourself a total liability like you guys did many, many times this game, Caitlyn has the beefiest front line and, a nice little sidekick to keep her alive. So win con, late in the game, it's almost always going to be ADC, right? That's just how the class is like designed around. It becomes a little more complex when it comes to things like Baron and like when objectives become your win con, because then it comes down to like how are you executing going for those objectives. But in a game like this, it's pretty simple. As long as Caitlyn is alive and Fizz is not, bending her over, look, she just takes objectives. Like she just walks up and sieges them, and you can do that too. But like as long as Kate is alive, that's your win con. But yeah. Next time you come to stream, I'll try to articulate like what our current game's win con is. But in this game, it's pretty simple. It's just Caitlyn, walk her up to objectives, the correct objectives when your team is there. But yeah, this is definitely not a game that you should have won. I'm gonna be honest with you. The enemy team, you threw Baron, and then the enemy team threw Baron also. So yeah. Volk, I know this session might have been a little harsher than the other ones, but as a Senna player, I have higher standards, buddy. So yeah, definitely work on your macro decision making. I think that this session has had a lot of big and small picture things for you to work on. If you have any questions at all, you know where to find me, brother. Message me on Discord, Twitter, Twitch, OnlyFans, whatever. Right? Just reach out. And yeah, for anyone that watched this on YouTube, let me know what you guys think about the coaching session down in the comments. Take it easy, boys. Peace.